Welcome, everybody. It is 5 p.m. Mountain Time. That means it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast and all the trickling out time zones where you're calling in from. We appreciate you being with us. We are thrilled to have with us tonight Mr. Dennis Ligon, longtime M fan and fanatic, and you will be fans of his as this call is not even ending. Well, it's kicking off. You're going to love it. But I want to do a quick intro and reminder of a few things. Today is the 25th day of September, so we're closing out the month. We've got some great activity going on, and we're getting ready for some even greater activity. This call tonight will be talking about convention, the inaugural, the very first one, Convention 2018. It'll be the first one we do as M. We're welcoming members of our family from a bigger and broader base. We're thrilled to have you joining us. And I want to go over, and I've got Dennis a little bit prepared. I mean, he's always super prepared, but what I'm going to do is to get us ready to share some of the information about the convention itself. So here's a quick look, and boy, I wish I just didn't keep appearing on that darn screen. But the intention is to show you what is on the screen itself. The M Convention 2018, it happens November 1st through 3rd at the M Resort in Las Vegas. I think they've just announced some new construction on the, there it is. So now the new resort has been completed, and the M Resort, thank you for the knowing nods and chuckles and smiles out there in webinar land. This, folks, is destined to be. It is a resort called the M Resort. We're showing up, we're taking over, and we will have a couple of thousand of your closest friends joining us at this incredible event. So to set you up with what you need to do and to know, getting ready for the event, we want to go through the agenda. So this will let you know all you need to know. Even though it's subject to change, it won't change enough that it's going to foul up your travel plans. So right now, we are roughly 5 weeks away. So you need to arrive by Thursday, November 1st. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the registration desk will open, and that means we'll have whatever you need for your name badge and maybe a piece of swag to identify you around the resort. Hopefully it'll be at least a temporary tattoo that can fit right in the middle of my forehead, or again, I'm teasing, there will be no such thing. But we will have something for you to let you know that you are part of the greatest group in the land at that time. So that'll be 9 a.m. on Thursday. You don't have to be there at 9. It'll be open throughout the day. But if you are among the leadership group, and that means your team volume will have achieved during this month, September 2018, 25,000 points in volume, you're invited to that leadership meeting that begins 1 o'clock. And again, all times that we're referencing here will be local time to Las Vegas, which is Pacific Daylight Time. So I don't know if you need to look that up, or I think when you land at the airport or you drive across the state line, your mobile phone, your smartphone should update, and it will tell you, okay, this is the real time where you are. You're going to be awake way too late tonight, or you're going to have to get up way too early tomorrow. But the idea is these are all Pacific Daylight Time. So 1 o'clock is the leadership meeting, and then at 7 o'clock, everything opens. And we're calling it an opening session. I'm going to call it the most fun you could ever have to start a convention. We have something planned. I think we've dribbled out this gentleman's name, and I don't want to give away too much, but I will just say the name Jason Hewlett. And I teased that Jackson Hewitt is a tax advisor or some kind of software, because it starts with a J and an H, and it kind of sounds the same. But we're talking about Jason Hewlett, and he is an industry veteran. He is not just our industry, I mean a public speaking veteran. He's done a couple of events where I've been involved, and this guy has you laughing out loud. You'll have sores right here. So I'm packing plenty of Core AO to help with the inflammation that I will get from laughing and smiling so much at Mr. Jason Hewitt. And that again is scheduled for Thursday night. He is a part of that opening session. So get ready for that. Be there, whatever it takes. 7 o'clock at night, that Thursday, November 1st, is the full broad opening of the M Inaugural Convention. Day 2 happens to be Friday, November 2nd. And we're starting this, again, the opening session, and this is what we're calling General Session 1. This is a little bit different from the opening session, which will absolutely be more relaxed, but definitely worth your time and attention. But the 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Friday, November 2nd, is what we're calling General Session 1. I have given you a helpful hint at the end of that line, and it says, don't be late. We are planning one of our big announcements. Yes, announcements, multiple, plural, in the collective. One of these big announcements will happen pretty close to the opening of that general session. So when we say 9 o'clock, we're starting the countdown at 8:55 a.m. that clock is going to hit 0, and that means 9 o'clock, and that means we're starting. So be in your seats, be ready, and maybe have some notes or have your phone on record or whatever. That one is probably something that we will want to Facebook Live. Now, we've talked about the broadcast. That is one thing. We're not going to make it so, and sadly, I wish this could be the case. If you can't attend the event, I'm very sorry. You're going to miss a lot of wonderful stuff. If you have to miss the event, we'll share with you as much as we can. Absolutely. At least 1 or 2 very specific, very grand announcements. But you're also going to miss a lot of really incredible fun. But 9 a.m. Friday for the general session 1. Breakout sessions Friday afternoon, specific to developing yourself as a person, as an individual, as a business leader, and building your business. Breakout sessions are scheduled 1:30 to 3:30 on Friday. And then at 7 p.m. on Friday night, we will have the awards night. Now, if we say formal, some people hear tuxedo, gown, tiara, walking cane. Dennis, you're welcome to wear all 4 of those things if you have them available.
Yes, sir.
All of those are appropriate. We also have heard people say, oh, it's semi-formal or it's Sunday best. I promise you, you're going to be welcome in whatever you arrive in, but this is an occasion where you will definitely never feel overdressed. So don't plan on any special tuxedos by any corporate staff. That may happen or it may not. But seriously, bring something nice and that you can feel will be worthy of the event, worthy of the evening, celebrating the past year's accomplishments for everybody in M, all M consultants, members, associates, business partners, friends, neighbors, loved ones, and I'm just going to say family. That's probably the best way to put it. So that's for Friday. You can get a look at that there. Saturday, we will start again. 9 a.m. will be the opening of general session number 2. And then, I didn't mention earlier, we will have keynote speakers in each of our general sessions. A lot of conventions have a keynote speaker that you, ta-da, here's the guy or here's the gal, and she's speaking and he's speaking, and then that's the one person you get, and then that event is over. We're going to give you 3. And if I'm going to count Jason Hewlett, which I should, you're going to get 4 really awesome sessions, 4 phenomenal speakers. We've got a few things lined up. We're going to save some announcement of who they are for rolling out. We already mentioned John Gordon. That was one, and that was one that Stacy had talked about. The Energy Bus is a great book to read to get in prepared mode for this event. This gentleman speaking on Saturday morning is someone that I endorse. I endorse all of them heartily. I'm too much of a salesman. I'm going to speak too highly of everybody that I come across. But seriously, this guy is awesome, and you're going to love it. We'll have a general session again at 1:30 with another additional keynote speaker. This is someone Ryan will get to introduce, something he's really excited about. I'm learning about the speaker, and it's also going to be fantastic. And then take a look at that last line, everybody. That is no joke. At 7 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, November 3rd, the last official event of the M Inaugural Convention is something we're calling a live karaoke party. What does that mean? What could that mean? When you think of karaoke, Dennis, I'll put you on the spot right now. When you think of karaoke, how do you picture it?
How do I picture? Well, after going to that event in Nashville with some of the Jamberry ladies, I expect it to be pretty special.
You're right. And if I've been to, I don't know how many karaoke parties I've been to, you typically have a TV that plugs in a machine, runs some lyrics on, and plays somebody's version of that song, right? So Dennis, I picture you're going to probably sing something by Madonna or something by Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know it's going to run through your head right now, but usually you do that, and it's got lyrics on a screen, and it's kind of fun. It's always fun, funny. This, what I'm calling live karaoke party, the name of the group accompanying us at the live karaoke party is called This Is Your Band. It's a band. They have a live bassist, a live keyboardist, a live drummer, and a live guitarist who will play live with you while you stand on stage and belt it out like a rock star or a pop star or a gospel star or maybe a Gregorian monk star. I'm not sure how those work with karaoke, but these guys, and I know them because they live right here in my backyard, they play about 800 songs on their repertoire, and you basically choose it beforehand, and then your words are pumped into a screen that only you see. The band is playing and accompanying you with song behind you, and your hundreds of thousands of fans are screaming in front of you. Live karaoke. I have done it. I have a little rock and roll fantasy, apparently, that I keep wanting to live out. I am trying to get myself invited to participate in the live karaoke night, but oh my goodness, a live band in your background, trust me, this is going to be a blowout party that is going to knock your socks off. So there's the overview, there's the agenda, there's everything. Dennis, before we get into your part where I'm going to ask you questions, do you have any questions about the convention that I might be able to answer for you?
It's worth just coming to see the karaoke party.
I think it is too. It feels, honestly, knowing what I know about it, that would be worth the whole trip just in itself. And then we're adding 100 things on top of it. They're going to be great too. All right, so here are the details. The inaugural M convention, November 1st through 3rd at the M Resort. One ticket, and this is a ticket required per attendee. One ticket costs $149.95 with 30 PV attached. And if you want to get together with friends, or if you want to, as a leader, purchase tickets for your team, 10 of them are available for $999.95. So the cost per ticket goes down to about $100, and that includes a 300 PV attachment. So again, this is building your best you. How do you get the best out of you? Who is the best and better you? That's what we're going to talk about at this event. So we are super, super excited for that. So with that, I'll do the official introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody on this call better know who this gentleman is, because he's been a part of M from the beginning. He has more personality in his little finger than I have in my whole head of hair. That's not the right way to put it. But this is a guy that you can sit and listen to and watch and learn from and absorb from for anywhere from 7 minutes to 7 hours, and he will be entertaining and engaging the whole time. And I mean that on a personal level, just talking one-on-one on the phone, or if he's talking to 20 or 30 people in a group, or 200 people on a webinar, or 2,000 people at a convention. So Dennis Ligon, tell us a little bit about what you think is going to happen for this convention.
Well, Dave, we've been excited about it ever since Ryan announced it. And what's so incredible about this, I remember getting the phone call from him on, I think it was a Sunday, and he talked about securing the spot and how many people we'd have to have there. And at that particular time, that was like going to be a stretch. But just like having faith, and when he made that decision, to watch how it has grown, because let's face it, January of 2017, we launched with a couple hundred people there in Vegas. And now here we are, 20 months or so later, 22 months later, and could have as many as 2,000. So it's something that in Nashville with these ladies, and I just fell in love with amazing energy in that room. I decided to pull it. This was so incredible. It's the first ever pulling all this together for the first, and it's just amazing. I encourage everyone to not miss this one, because, like I said, there'll only be one first one, and this is it. So very excited about being there. But one thing, as most people know, I'm in a traditional business in the tanning world. And when people are looking at these events, I know it's an expense to go to them. But, it'd be like, if you thought about, say the greatest benefit of network marketing is you can get started for a very little amount of money. There's also the biggest impediment as well, because some people don't take it as serious. But you can imagine if you opened up a Subway franchise tonight, you spent $250,000, and you had your little manual, you're getting ready to open for business, got to spend all your money. And all of a sudden they had a convention, and they said, hey, come to our convention. You've already spent $250,000. Convention's going to be a couple $100, and you're going to get to speak to the top 10 Subway owners who make the most money, had the most success. Plus there'll be another 1,000 or a couple thousand of them that'll share all the ideas they have that work for them freely for you. What would that be worth to you? And I look at it as the difference of taking a Spanish class in high school or being dropped off in Spain. Because when you go to a convention, for those who have never been, it's full immersion, because from the moment you get there to the moment you leave, it's not like you go see a few speakers. Yes, you got the speakers for all the personal development. And I know I've already looked at some of the speakers y'all have, and they are amazing. I'm just unbelievable. A company our size, this early in the game, would have these kind of speakers. But more importantly, that is the meeting after the meeting, because as great as these events are and the recognition is the friendships you make, the connections you make, because all you need is one nugget can change your life. One idea, one connection. And speaking of one connection, I met my wife, Sue, at a convention, at an event we were at before, at a former company. That's where we met. So you will meet some incredible like-minded people like yourself. And when you're surrounded by a couple thousand people who see what you see and believe what you believe, the energy level just goes through the roof. And what I've seen through when I went to the leadership event, I became friends with Joe Mellon. He's been to my house. He's come done events here. When I went to Nashville, I met Rachel and some of the other leaders there, and I talked to them regularly, Lisa, Amy, and just so many of the Jamberry ladies that were former Jamberry. And these connections are what really, you can't put a price on that. That's like the most valuable thing of all. And to know that instead of focusing right now, which I understand people will focus on the price, saying, well, it's going to cost me $100, and then I got to get my hotel room, and I get my airfare. But I would tell you that's the price of going, but focus on the cost of not going, because I can promise you, for Sue and I, when I went in a former company I was at, I had worked 6 months and it built it to $40,000 a month business. And that was pretty good. And I was just stagnant there. But I went to the convention, and 6 months later, I had taken it from $40,000 a month to $270,000 a month. Not from anything I invented, just from the ideas that were freely given to me, because I was doing some things wrong and I learned how to do them right. And my gosh, it took my business up almost tenfold. So I can promise you, if you attend this event, expect your business to jump tenfold, because if you're serious about building a business and building an income, and if you have any doubts, go listen to the call with Amy and Lisa. Go listen to that recording, and it will fire you up so much that you'll be like, if those two ladies can do it, I can do it. I don't let anything stop you from being at that convention. Believe me, you'll hear Kat Barnes. She'll tell you, you get 10 people in a room sometimes at these things. You'll do whatever it takes to get there and get inspired and get immersed in all this. And I promise you, your life will never be the same, because I know Ryan, I know Dave, I know these leaders, and I know what they planned and how excited they are to have this, pull all this off. Because right now, with all the changes, Dave, we've gone through in the last 6-7 months, I don't know if any company has ever gone through this much upheaval in the first, less than 2 years of business, but to also experience this much growth and to finally get everybody on the same page in November. I swear it's something I'm so excited about. Sue is as well. And she would be on this call, but she's in the air right now, headed to Colorado, but she left me just for a couple of days. We're all excited about being there and being around these folks and getting to meet all these people we get to talk to on the phone and see on these webinars. And it's just an exciting time. And I just encourage everybody, do not miss it, because this is a chance, literally, if you want to build a business, this is life-changing. Because I can promise you, going to convention doesn't guarantee you're going to be financially free and a super success in this business. But I've never known anyone become financially free or super successful that didn't go to a convention.
That's a great way to put it. I love how you talk about when you were saying, obviously you met your wife, and you were telling me earlier that it wasn't a one-time, get to know her. It took a couple of conventions. I don't know if it took you that long to get your guts up, or that long for her to finally listen and agree to go out with you. But you talk about the like-minded individuals and what can happen when you go. Now, obviously, we can't guarantee results because we can't guarantee activity. But I have a saying that I like to drop out there once in a while. I can't guarantee what will happen when you fall in a pool. But it's pretty likely that if you fall in a pool, you're going to get wet. Here, I can't guarantee that you're going to be successful from attending a convention. But if you attend this convention and you put into practice the things that you learned there, and you stay plugged in and you stay active and you stay persistent, you're going to get wet. You're going to have some of those things dribble off onto you. And it's like you said, you didn't do anything that you invented after going to convention. You just figured out what you were not doing, really well, fixed some of those things, added a few things, and that is what brought you results going up. Gosh, just that tenfold increase from where you were. That's a remarkable story. And what we're talking about for an M convention are some of those same kinds of things.
And some of these speakers you have coming to this event, people will see, they'll find out on their own. They could go see some of these speakers and spend $100,000, $500,000. I've spent as much as $25,000 to spend some time with Jay Abraham or Tony Robbins. People will see that they can spend some very heavy money to see some of these guys, and yet it's all included in this convention. So the personal development is almost like if you're an athlete, that's the weightlifting. You're getting yourself ready. And then to have, my gosh, the ladies and the Willoughbys, the Richard, the Cat, the people that are connected with this business that have had the success, and to know that you go there and you can sit down face to face and they will tell you step by step what to do to build a business. When I go to tanning conventions, think about it, Dave, there might be 2,000 people there, but we're all competitors. And we'll listen to the speakers, but we do not share too many ideas with each other, right? Because we're competitors. This convention, we're not competitors. We're not competing. We're all creating together. So it's like the golden rule in action. It's like the more you give, the more value you give, the more you're going to receive. And I tell you, it's an amazing energy to be a part of that. And like I said, I was telling someone the other day, no matter what you think about network marketing, what you hear about it, right now, I'd have to say some of my closest friends have come from this industry over the last few years. And that says more about it than anything else, is the relationships. And it's just going to be an exciting time to be a part of. And I am thrilled. Can't wait to get there. We got a crowd coming from Virginia that'll be there to join into the fun and festivities. And so we just appreciate being on this tonight, Dave. And we're all excited about it here in Virginia.
Well, I appreciate that, Dennis. You and Sue have always been great friends of M, and your attitude is awesome, and people know that they have a champion in you for them to build their business. And it's like you say, we're not coming in as competitors, we're coming in as co-creators of something that will benefit even more than the people who are there. So I like to look at it as this convention of 2000 is going to really have an effect on hundreds of thousands of people for the benefit of their personal development, for the benefit of their home and their household's wellness, and certainly for the opportunity to have financial wellness as well. And that is something that I don't care if it's $149.95 for a ticket, $499.95, $1,500. You've talked about spending tens of thousands of dollars, and that was really to develop you so that you could help people as well. What we want to have happen here is just like that without the price tag, hopefully with a lot more engagement and a lot more fun. And the couple of things that we've got bookending it, so from Thursday night, an opening that I promise you is going to be laugh out loud fun, to the closing, which, you know, whether intentional or not, may also be laugh out loud fun. I wouldn't, if I'm singing, laugh at me, please. If you don't know me very well, know that I prepare to be the clown. I am open to being mocked. I just want people to have fun. And if I can break the ice and show people that we don't take ourselves too seriously, we do take this business very seriously, and that will show up in general sessions 1, 2, and 3. But we've got these 5 phenomenal atmospheres where people are going to get to see the company, see each other, try the products, learn about all kinds of new things. I'm not going to give anything away. You need to come prepared for having absolutely no new products and 100 new products. That may or may not be true. Somewhere in between is the truth. But the whole point of coming to a convention is not to sit back and say, okay, what do you got? Thrill me, impress me. Because those people will never be impressed. Or if they do, it's begrudgingly, and then they didn't think it was that real anyway. I've seen a couple of people come out of an event where I watched them laughing and hugging and crying and then say, yeah, I didn't get much out of it. Well, then you missed an opportunity because there is a lot going on. And Dennis, I'm not going to speak for you. I want you to tell us, what is your perspective as a leader? I mean, you've been to, I'm going to say dozens, maybe even high dozens of these conventions and regional events. You've seen them from different companies. What is something that people need to have in their mindset getting ready to come to a convention so that they can get the biggest benefit out of it?
Well, you know, and Dave, you know, I know you're a good a man of faith, and I can tell you it's sort of like going to church. You know, I've gone to a church where you'll see people sit there and it's like, okay, perform. You know, it's like, okay, choir, okay, singer, you know, move me. And I've got myself up and I've got here. And yet that's our time to worship. And it's like, hey, we're supposed to be a part of this. Well, same thing here. When I give the great example, I can't praise them enough. And I know it looks like I'm kissing up, but I might as well kiss up now since they're doing so well. But the former Jamboree ladies that are now M Global, when I went to that event, Dave, you know what I'm talking about. I got off the elevator and there was such a buzz, a loud noise. I thought, what was going on? And there was this line of ladies, I mean, literally 1,000 deep in a line for hours. And I said, what are y'all going to? Are you going to meet some superstar? They were in line just to buy some swag. But their energy level was so high. And then they had dress up night. And of course, I'm putting a suit on thinking it's dress up. And they're dressed in all these Wonder Woman outfits, all these crazy outfits. They were having a blast. And I don't care if they were making $50 or 50,000. These ladies loved each other. And they were setting the tone like, hey, you can go sit in the corner if you want to, but we're inviting you to join us. And one thing I think people will be shocked if they've never come to one of these events. I remember one I went to, and it was in Las Vegas, and the first thinking is, well, you know, it's in Las Vegas, you know, we get to go to some shows, and some people would want to gamble or whatever. And I remember going to an event and leaving, like the last one we did at, we had the launch, and saying, you know what, we didn't go to a show, and we didn't even play any game, like we're not gamblers anyway, but I said, like, it didn't even cross our mind. We were so busy, so engaged with the people there and having so much fun that we didn't do what the typical everybody goes to Vegas to do. And I think a lot of people will find that out, that you will get so engulfed with what's going on. But I promise you, just like if you heard that call last Saturday, or go listen to it, when you see the belief level people's change and their lives change, and knowing that that's what can happen at this event, I just think it's scary for someone to miss the event, especially if you love M and you really want to make this business work. You got to move mountains and say, I've got to get there. It's that important. And I believe me, I would not tell anybody to waste any money if I didn't truly 100% in my heart believe it. I know that I would have never met Sue. We would have never earned the millions of dollars we've earned and helped thousands of other people if we had not gone to that event. And I'll say a little praise for Sue to show you how big these events are, Dave. The company we were in, she joined it a few months after me. She was in the company for like 4 days. Her upline, nobody told her about the event because they're like, oh, you can't afford to go to Vegas and spend all that money. On her own, she drove in the snow to the airport, got on the plane by herself, and sat in the back row. And it's actually a few chairs down from me. I just didn't know it at the time. But she was in the back row of that first event. And that's how much she believed, and that's what launched her business. So I can tell you, if you're sitting there and you've never enrolled one person yet, or if you've never sold one box of sticks or nails, you go to that event, and I promise you, your life is going to change. And you get around people, and everybody will be open arms to help you. And I promise you, Sue and I will be, because we're usually just talking the whole time we're there to share with people, and also to pick up nuggets from others so they can share with us. So I promise you, you're going to find a very open community that is here that help you. And believe me, you will see our company explode after an event. That's another great thing about these things is we all know there's a big lift, and that will take us all the way into 2019, which, I was talking to Joe Melling the other day. We believe that could be $100 million a year for him. And it all starts with this convention right here.
Dennis, you said it, that there's nothing better to say. There's nothing more to say, but I will say thank you. That is one thing more that I can say. Dennis and Sue, we appreciate you. We wish Sue safe travels to see family, and everybody get back together, and then we'll see you all in about 5 weeks. It's going to be really, really phenomenal. And this is something we'll talk about forever. This is a historic moment. This will be something we look back in 3 years, in 12 and 25 years, and we say, I remember that. Oh, do you remember that thing? Do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when it was a little teeny tiny convention of 2,000 people? Yeah, we will remember, and we're going to set that history. We're going to make this a brand new launching pad for us going forward. Dennis, you're right. We're going to see changes and growth in this company that will feel unreal when you compare them from year to year. But because we're in it and we're working on it and we're committed and we're working together and we have the right attitude and we have what we believe are the right goals and targets in mind, we are going to have the right results, and it's going to be phenomenal. Thanks to you and Sue. Thanks to everybody on this call. We appreciate you. We welcome you to join us again Saturday morning, Dennis and Sue, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and they've got their business building call. It's always a treat, and we're back here for Monday night product calls and everything. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Good night.
Good night.